What's up, everybody? It's Brandon. That's Rodney. That's Tyler. And we got Ricky.
Hello, everybody.
Back on the pod. Isn't this your third pod?
It is.
We had the one that was like the volumes were fucked. We think we got the volumes right on this one, and we had to rectify that. And, of course, we had to have him back eventually because he is a stupendous guest.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back.
Yes, yes. And we are here to talk about the Northman on this knee-jerk reaction. This is one I think, all of us pretty hyped for. So let's dive into it. Let's fucking dive deep. We'll talk spoilers, I guess, if we need to do that at the end of the rating, but you will know when that is coming. So, guys, what did you think about this pile of shit?
This was in my top 10 anticipated of the year for sure.
And
I
Josh's.
can't remember where in it was, maybe like 5 or 6.
It was high on Josh's.
It was in my honorable mentions. I needed to see a trailer at that time.
Yeah, I think they'd only released like a little 30-second clip of like the title or
I
whatever.
wasn't sold until like a week ago.
About a week ago. Okay, Bobby Schmurda.
Yeah, I'll definitely say this real quick.
R.I.P.
That's
If
me.
you are going into this movie expecting like epic warfare and a slaughter fest of blood and gore and all that, this is not the movie you're walking into.
Yeah.
There's blood.
I thought
It's a
there
love
was going to be
story.
a lot more.
There,
actually.
yeah, that's one thing I will hold against this movie a tad bit, but it's just I expected more of the violence, more brutality to the violence, but it's such a grounded movie.
Insinuation.
Like, there's no like I don't know, like everything seemed believable in this. Even the horse going to where it
Space.
went, yeah.
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 It's
Spoiler
very
alert. I mean, you see the bitch riding the thing. Yeah. This movie was definitely like there wasn't a whole lot necessarily of like blood. I mean, there is, but there also isn't. But there's a lot of off-screen shit where that's why I was saying insinuates. It kind of insinuates what is happening. Like you can kind of get the feel, which I think works quite fucking well in the movie. But I did wish there was a few more of those scenes where it just was like, oh shit, like while it was going on. I mean, heads did roll. We did get to see that a few times. But
Dude, we got a knife through the face. That shit was crazy.
That
the sword
was,
right through
that
the
was
nose.
my favorite scene.
Dude.
That was
Yeah.
dope.
Yes,
That
his
was
nose was
badass.
already exposed, so he just slid the sword
Finished
right.
this
yeah,
thing.
there's
Right. Good
there's something to that for
Well,
sure.
there are those moments. This is a Robert Eggers film, so you're gonna
yeah.
get those moments, but it is very few of them. But when they're there, they're fucking there.
Yeah, and there's a couple after effect moments where you see kind of like what
Yeah.
happened, like the crime scene afterwards. It's pretty fucking
We had a
good.
little Saving Private Ryan kind of whole stomach falling out at one scene
Yeah.
where he got slashed in the stomach. But
Yeah,
dude,
it
and
was
he
good.
he is jacked for this.
Yeah,
like
he is.
Legend
Yeah.
of Tarzan, like we were talking
Yeah.
about
He's a
earlier.
big dude.
He's
like
really not
6'5".
though.
Yeah.
Like build wise,
No,
like normally
dude.
he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Normally he's like looks scrawny like his brother Bill.
That's crazy to think about. It's like the movie. When I think of him, I think of like just
Tarzan,
Tarzan.
now this.
I think
And I
like
think of
the
Straw
biggest.
Dogs. He was
Yeah,
kind of
I
big
forget
in
about him
Straw
being in
Dogs.
Straw
I think of
Dogs.
him as the biggest
The remake,
Skarsgård,
of course. Yeah,
which he is by height, but by muscle definition too.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
probably
'cause
say
he
that
gets
yeah.
bulked up for roles. I mean,
Yeah.
he just starts eating steroids to get the muscle, dude. Yeah, but he's fucking jacked
He's
regardless. I mean, just fucking his
Yeah, he is.
traps. We were talking about that. Like you kind of see in the trailer, there's a moment where he wields the sword and he like kind of hunches over like he's a fucking
It's
gorilla.
like his traps keep him from putting his arms down straight. He's
Yeah.
always having to walk with his arms like out.
He's so jacked.
He's
yeah,
huge.
dude. He's fucking monstrous.
This movie takes no time to get started.
No.
It
No.
kind of gets started and it just rolls. Like from there, like you're in it. Like,
Mhm.
And that's that. Another thing we talked about a little bit vaguely was the characters that you see in the trailers are not in this movie a lot, other than
necessarily.
Peter.
Some of them.
Other than Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy's in this a good amount. Willem Dafoe is, man, it kind of sucks that he's only in like 2 or 3
Yeah, he's not in
scenes
a
this
lot of
whole movie.
scenes. I don't think it's necessarily spoiler-ish. But the thing is like that you can almost expect that with these kind of movies because you're not necessarily... Like, this kind of movie, I was going in thinking, like, this is star-studded cast, and not necessarily everybody's going to be there to the end. We pretty much knew from the trailer that Ethan Hawke wasn't going to be there till the end. Unless they did some Tarantino shit.
That was, I did not expect it to be like that short-lived, like Ethan Hawke.
I did, especially being 2 hours and like 20 minutes. I was like, they're probably going to extend the opening pretty long, but they really didn't. You know, they there was enough to make him have his like imprint on the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But it wasn't as long as I thought it was, because I thought that as soon as it rolled, I'm like, you know, this is 2 hours and 20 minutes. They're probably going to play this in sections really well. And they kind of didn't do that. And I wonder if that made the middle, for me, drag a little bit. Like, I felt the run time a little more than I wish I did at times. But overall, it still wasn't like, oh, my God, I'm looking at my watch. It was just kind of like, okay, like maybe if they spaced out the beginning a little more and built that up. But the build-up is definitely there for, like, that final fight. Like, you're so ready for that confrontation. And you do. I think it delivers in that regard. I won't say exactly what happens and all that. I will say, too, I think the trailer is mainly, like, the first, like, 45 minutes of this movie. Like, everything else is kind of... And even, like, the little action set pieces we do get, or the bloody moments and the After Effect moments are not really in the trailer, so you do get that, which is kind of cool. You know, there's things in this movie I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't see that coming. Whereas they were throwing everything out at the beginning, I started wondering, I'm like, is this, like, going to be all the action scenes? Like, fuck, dude, I don't know. We're seeing all the best shit from the trailer already, which is cool because, you know, you're getting that in the front, so you're, like, getting hooked in, but you're starting to wonder, as a viewer, you're like, shit, dude, like, are we going to get more out of this? Are we going to fucking get something new and fresh other than what's in the trailer? And I think, you know, we did get a few more of those scenes, a few more badass moments. And yeah, the movie was, you know, definitely engaging. I definitely don't think it'll be for everybody.
No.
The old lady next to me literally leaned over to her husband and was like, this is fucking stupid at one point because of something they do in this movie, like in particular, that I will say best describe as the overall feel of the movie that I think they really pulled off in sections is really like primal.
Okay,
like when
I loved that.
That's something I do love about this movie is like part of me, I'm like, this is kind of off-putting. But then I got to rewind it and turn it back around in my own brain where I'm like, well, fuck, dude. I mean, they're really pulling off me watching something to where it almost doesn't feel like a movie. Like I actually feel like I'm in that time with them, which is cool. And I think they really mastered that. The acting, I think, was pretty spot on, pretty stellar. I almost said Stellan because of Stellan Skarsgård. Yeah.
I think Anya stole the show as far as acting wise. I think Anya was
She
a standout
got it.
for me. And then just the grounded reality of it, like the slow slicing of the swords, you know, and you know everybody getting winded so fast, and it's just like,
Oh yeah, they were.
but
There's no doubt about
and it's
that.
an Eggers film, so you know, I mean, you know, kind of, you should know if you've watched his other
Know
two,
what you're
kind of
getting
what you're
into.
walking into. Yeah,
I was wondering if this was going to be different, though. Like, it almost did have a vibe where it was like, his first two films aren't for everybody, but this one looks like it can kind of fill the niche of everybody, but it also can bring in a new fan base to kind of, like, fulfill that void for them, too. Like, I'm not a fan of his other movies. But like
Yes,
these
about
ones.
a third of the way in, I thought that it was gonna like pick up a different speed for
Yeah.
Eggers.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah,
But-
that's where I was at with it, too.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad you touched on that. Me, I really like the movie. But you know, I like his work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it did have a kind of a different speed where it, you know, had like a vengeance tale instead of this more mysterious. It was pretty, you know, right in front of you what the plot was.
Yeah.
I really like that. So to me, it was kind of a different perspective from him.
No doubt about it.
You know, and like I did appreciate some of the fatality scenes, and I really liked the fight. It looked like they were in hell.
yes,
Yeah.
You know,
It's good
like,
shit.
and then the way that they both, you know, the head was chopped off. You know, he got his vengeance while he took one to the heart, and you know, it was good. I liked it. It, you know, it gave me everything you know that I wanted. You know, expecting basically. But you know, like Brandon said, you know, I was maybe thinking maybe this is the one that kind of just pushes, you know, into like a something that maybe everyone can appreciate because it isn't for everyone.
Yeah.
But I like these I like these kind of movies though.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's why I
about
was
it.
really excited to go see it. So
Yeah, like I agree with that 110%. Like at base value, it felt like it was gonna be a different movie. But that's what I mean by like when I was going into it, I'm like it definitely has all the ingredients to be a different, type of movie. But by the end of it, the style of Eggers, whatever you want to call it, was there, which is really good. But it also was like it came on real thick, like the other ones in a way. So I don't know for sure if this will win over people that aren't fans of his movies already, because these movies are already critical darlings, but they do divide audiences. So
Yeah.
if you didn't like his other movies, there is a good chance that you might not like this. It is a different speed here, like at face value, but there's still a lot of what made The Witch, well, a lot of what made The Lighthouse. So it might not necessarily be for you. So know that going in.
Tyler.
Yeah, we're talking spoilers now. We're actually going to say
Dude,
the
I
spoilers
really don't-
till the end, but I can put
Just-
spoilers on the video.
If someone's got something to say it, because I'm just.
So-
Covered a lot of it.
What about so the whole tone as
Yeah.
as a whole, what did you think of it? Like as an Eggers film.
It was solid. I mean, it showed the whole story leading up to the end. Like, it didn't take any scenes off there.
Yeah.
I thought some of those, like, there was a cool drug scene where they all get fucked up on they drink that drink, and then that one dude.
You talking about around the fire?
guard,
When they
yeah,
went Midsommar on him.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the
It
dude
almost
just
had
starts
a feel.
stabbing himself after drinking.
Dude, that was
drink.
crazy as
Yeah.
shit.
I was like, I love that scene was dope.
They were like demon.
I thought that scene was about to be way more than what it ended up being.
Started out pretty
like, yeah,
good.
I was like, oh my god, what is happening here?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think basically what everybody is saying, like Brandon, like you were saying with the whole, if you didn't like his films beforehand, The Lighthouse and The Witch, then there is about a 90% chance you will not
it's
like
not
this
gonna win
movie.
you
But
over.
the authenticity of this movie is outstanding.
Yeah.
Like the language is incredible because they
A
go
lot of
between
curse
Nordic
words
and
on the spot.
like English,
Yeah,
and then
beautiful.
the whole lore of it, like it just you really felt more like a documentary on Vikings, kind of
Yeah,
like
in a weird
watching
way.
it.
Pulled you in that regard.
yeah.
Did any of y'all get like Revenant vibes from this movie?
A little
Yeah,
bit.
I know what you're saying.
Like some of the shots in this movie were like, and there was a couple scenes where I thought Lord of the Rings too, when they were in the big open landscape on the horses.
Yeah.
It's
was
very
like,
much
ooh.
in that grounded realism.
Yeah.
That really captures it. Not just like the cinematography. It's like kind of what I don't even remember.
Yeah,
if
because
I
I'd say
was
the
touching on it.
cinematography is just, it wasn't bad. It was just on. It was like par. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
The
it was
cinematography,
really
but it was
good.
just, I guess, dealing with what it is, and we don't get many movies because Robert Eggers is one who takes his time and he'll spend as much money on the accuracy of set pieces than anything else.
Yeah, and it shows.
And every time it does, and it's just genuinely great to watch, even
Yeah.
if nobody's talking the whole fucking movie. Like it's,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I like that.
And you could easily too just like take that for granted, or you could be somebody that's like, I'm not really into this movie, but I can totally respect like what's put into this movie. Which
did
is a
not
cool
care for
thing.
Nicole Kidman in this.
Really?
Yeah,
I
did not.
agree.
I was
I
not.
didn't
There was
mind her.
not enough dive into her. I
Dude.
think there was one character in this movie that didn't
I
get
thought
enough
he
time.
was
and
about
that
to
was
dive
her.
into her
character
for a
was
second.
hollow.
Yeah,
When she was giving that speech to him about how it
The
was
twist?
her fault. Yeah.
Did y'all
Dude.
see that
I was
coming?
like-
Because I
No.
did a mile away.
I didn't.
I didn't see
Dude,
it
I
coming,
thought for sure.
But I was
really.
like, dude, I would have killed her like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
see,
want
I-
to let her keep
As soon
talking
as
and
you
then-
saw it, dude, as soon as I saw them together, and I was like, dude, she was fucking in on it the whole fucking time.
I just was so blinded because there
That's
just wasn't
crazy.
enough on her character for me personally
Mhm.
for me to think something like that. Because anytime they focused on Ethan Hawke in the beginning, there wasn't much of her involved
Well,
with
that's
it.
why that's another tipping point for me.
But
is
yeah,
I'm like,
I
we
should have
don't
been able to
really
see that.
Yeah, it's like we didn't really get to know her. We're kind of rooting for her. Like, man, I can't wait to they reunite. Like, I haven't even seen enough of her. I'm like, this is setting up for she organized it all. You could like she wanted to lay with him in the beginning. he was like, "Nah, I'm good," basically. And you could tell she was frustrated by that. And she kind of talked about the brother briefly before he killed his brother.
Yeah,
and then
right.
also you're looking at, she's like, "Never come into my quarters without knocking." Like, even though it's old school, like, she didn't show any type of love. Like, Ethan Hawke even was like he seemed so pristine, and it seemed like he was gonna have that style, but he's like, "But it's never like too much for a good smothering," as he called it. There was love there, even though he was the king. I never felt that from her at all, and I was like, dude,
Right.
she clearly organized this
Dude,
shit,
that's
and I had
so
my
true.
suspicions.
It's like
And then once I saw her with them and they were having a good time, I'm like, this is clearly going this
it's
direction.
like knowing what you just said, and if you go back and watch it
Yeah,
a second
now I'd
watch,
see
you
it
would
all
see
day.
everything and be like,
Yeah.
yeah, how did I miss that the first time?
Yeah, well,
That's,
I did not.
yeah,
I
that
pieced
was
that
great.
one together.
Let's before we give out our scores and shit. I do want to talk about what Ricky touched on for a second, was the final fight
Yeah.
Yeah.
and how they fought in
Gates
the
of
gates of
Hell.
hell.
Yeah.
And
Great place in E-Town. I
Dude.
can't believe they filmed it there. It's wild. They showed us some love, dude.
it kind of sucks
A little more
because
fiery these days.
he didn't get full potential Skarsgård. You know what I'm saying? He already got us stabbed like 15 times and
Yeah.
sliced 2 or 3 times in the stomach. So when he fought him in that final battle, it was still a badass fight in my opinion, and it
It was
was
kind of short-lived, but for this
short-lived,
kind of
but
movie, also
made sense
not
because he was
really.
already so fucked up.
Still impactful.
I didn't think the ending was going to be what the ending was.
Well, just
That
like
was going to be a feel-good story.
Oh, no.
way. I
No,
actually
no.
thought it was gonna go the other way for a second. When he had his tricep just fucking
Oh,
sliced,
sliced
I was
open,
like, dude,
filleted.
I was like, in this movie, they might have him cut off Skarsgård's head.
Dude, I was
felt
ready
it in
for
that
it.
That was
moment.
gonna
I was like,
I
are
was
they
ready.
gonna take it
I was
there? And
hoping
I
they
don't know how to
did.
feel about it. I don't know how.
I'm
to feel
so
about
glad
that.
they killed him off though. Spoilers, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh,
They-
we're already past it.
But but it was so dope. Like Ricky said,
just
how
gonna
they
write in
did
the
it. Like
video.
Skarsgård did a beautiful slice to the head,
Beautiful.
and I didn't even notice the sword going.
No,
in
I
his
didn't
chest
either.
I didn't either.
until he fell to his knees, and I
Because
was
it
like,
was like a silhouette. It was like
Yeah.
you had to wait.
I didn't see it initially, but it wasn't when he fell to his knees. I was watching his head. I was like, yeah, that's right. And as soon as his head dropped,
Yeah.
I looked down. I was like, oh, he's impaled. And then he fell to his knees.
I thought that was such a beautiful ending. I think it delivered
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
That's
And
yeah.
and it's not even just that. It's the him falling down and picturing Anna
Yeah.
Taylor-Joy's character, and it's like, we're safe now. You
When
can
she
go.
gets pregnant, by the
and
way.
then the horse and the girl just
While
like
his
coming
eyes
to
are
get
lit
him.
up and his soul's about to leave
As
his
soon
body.
as she said she was pregnant, he jumped out of that boat. Was like,
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Deuces.
I will say the berserker thing was really dope to me. The whole dog howling and all that.
Yeah.
But his best one, in my opinion, was when he was on the hill and he finally calling out what's his name, Jofin or Joffrin.
I can't remember a single name. from the
His
movie,
name
so.
was
It's
confusing. That's
Fjorn,
the only thing that I really have bad to say
Fjornir.
about this movie.
No,
I could
yeah, it was
never remember
It was
the,
like Florin.
the villain's
Foreign.
name.
Yeah.
He was foreign, so.
His name was confusing though.
But yeah,
Yeah,
when
it's
he
hard.
called him out on the side of the hill like he did and ran down there and took out those 3 guys before they, got him. Dude,
That was a
shit
hype
so
moment.
dope.
That was
It
a hype
so
moment.
dope.
Dude, I hated Fiorin's son.
Oh
He-
God, I'm
he-
so glad
Yeah.
he got killed.
Like, but it
Oh.
wasn't even. I don't know if it was
guy
so
works
much
at
the
every, like-
acting. It was
The
just
guy
terrible.
works at every smoke shop around here.
Yeah, dude. But there's something. There's something about him, like, and it's probably just the character. But I was just like, "Fuck this guy!" Like, he's
Yeah,
got to
he-
get him.
Right.
I almost wanted that to be more personal. It was kind of like you blink from Nicole Kidman's moment to him just stabbing him, which was kind of cool. But it was also, and it ended up being good because the after effects of like taking his heart.
Oh,
And
dude,
then
that
all
and
that.
killing the other son, dude, that shit. He killed his the mom first, right? He killed
Yeah.
his mom
Yeah.
first, and then
Jumped on the
kid,
back.
dude, stabbing him, and
Yeah.
he just slices him. And
He should have been like, "I saved you," which is another great scene to talk about. That scene I didn't see coming. The game they were playing, and the mountain was in the movie. I did not
Oh
realize that
yes,
was the
dude.
mountain.
No, I didn't until it got that
Yeah,
close up shot
I was
of
like,
his
"Holy
face.
shit, it's the fucking mountain!" I got hyped off that, and that whole little battle, dude, was dope. And the headbutts.
I think that's my favorite kill in the movie is a headbutt.
No, that was dope, and you didn't even see him
You
really
just
doing
hear
it.
the
It was
cracking of
after
it.
effects.
Brutal.
And you were wondering the moment, you're like, holy shit, dude. And you saw the fright on their face from Fjorn.
He channeled his animal.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman. They were like, oh my God, like, don't go under the playing field. Holy shit. And the ball was right by his face, and I was ready. I was like, dude, is he going to smash his kid's face in? Like, but yeah, that was all intense. And I love just, like, that game. That game was really fun to watch. Just, like, you got to get close and fucking baseball bat the ball up against their post. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it seems like such an easy.
That big guy really killed it at the end.
Yeah, he was
They
wrecking
didn't
it.
have helmets or anything.
Yeah, but that's the thing though about that. Like, that seems like such an easy game to mess up. Like, I could be right by that pole from here to that camera and line it up,
So easy to
miss
mess
it,
up.
or you fucking go to hit it and
Ball
it goes,
goes flying.
yeah, goes to the left, hits Fjorn hits Fjorn in the face. He's like, execute him. I'm like, sir, I'm trying to help. But yeah, that was intense, dude. I love that scene. That was like probably my favorite. Like, didn't see nothing about this in the trailer.
Yeah,
This is
Yeah, there
fucking
you go.
awesome
Well, no,
moment.
you got to see someone get clubbed in the head, but,
Yeah, but you
you
didn't
wouldn't have thought
piece
it was
that
a game.
together,
Like you
no.
thought it was a battle.
It was cool.
Right.
Quidditch ain't got shit on this.
So before we give
Yeah,
our
it was
scores, Rotten Tomatoes as of right now for the critics is 89% and 76% audience. So the audience is actually kind of like they're not feeling it as much as the critics are.
You'd probably get that on The Witch and The Lighthouse too, though. But if you talk to people, there's some huge naysayers.
Where are we at with scores, Tyler?
I gotta go first.
Yeah, hit it.
I probably should have been thinking about this whole review. What do y'all think it is?
I would say you'd give it a 7.3.
I'm gonna say
Really?
a 6.7.
No, 6.2.
I thought it was in the
Damn.
sixes.
One thing I think would have really helped this is if Steve Carell was in this movie. I think he would have been the perfect Ethan Hawke.
Dude,
So
yeah,
that drops my score from 8 to
Yeah, somebody's got to fucking
6.2.
face swap that in.
Idiot. So 6.2 for real?
Yeah, I thought y'all were gonna give me like 4s and 3s.
No, I had a feeling
figured
that
you'd like it.
you kind of were. Well, I mean, he
What do
did
you think
if it's
Josh
above
will
a
rate it?
6. Dude, I think he's gonna be let down.
Yeah, I think.
he gives
But
it
I
a
think it's
4.
gonna be one of those things where he's like, "But I do respect all this stuff. I'm gonna sit solid at a 7." I think that's how he's gonna say it
pretty
too.
high.
That was actually spot on. That was a good mockery of his voice, I think. I don't know if y'all caught that. Yeah, if you're listening to us on Spotify, if we finally have that up, that was me talking. Josh is not here.
That's funny you said that because that's exactly what I was gonna.
No,
I was gonna give it a flat 7.
a flat 7. So it's like a flat soda 7.
It's not a bad 7 at all by any means. It's a good 7. I mean, 7's pretty good for me.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a respectable score.
Rock, paper, scissors. No,
Scissors.
I had scissors first.
Then we
I
tied.
win. That means I go first. Haha.
Perfect.
No, I'm just playing. That was to see who goes last.
I'm
I'll let
eager.
you have this one.
Let's hear it.
It's on your top 10 of the year. It was vaguely
Okay,
missing
so
mine.
I'll say it's not my favorite.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Robert
say this.
Eggers
Do you
film.
want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go on and go first.
That's fine. I thought you were going to say the scores on this for some reason.
Oh, well, The Witch has a 59% audience score.
Yeah, because I was
with a
curious
90.
how that mapped out. We can save the other one for later, though.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go.
So, yeah, this is not my favorite Robert Eggers film. I think The Witch is still my favorite Eggers film. But a beautiful movie. I love the lore. I love the authenticity of it. I loved what Eggers did with the characters as far as like Anya Taylor-Joy and Skarsgård's character, and then the whole thing with Fjorn or whatever his name is. Like I really enjoyed this movie. It wasn't as bloody as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as epic as I thought it was going to be, but I would still give this an 8.9.
Beautiful.
8.9. See, I said that before.
Nice. Yeah. Like I said, it still was visceral in nature. It still was intense. It felt very, like you said, grounded and realistic, and really took it there, like in terms of like the primal nature of the film. The performances were all good. As a powerful story, as a powerful build-up to that final clash, and the clash delivered. It was just all around well shot, great fucking movie, dude. Like, I mean, there's just nothing I can really complain about other than a few times I kind of was like, maybe if they spaced out the beginning and the middle and the end better, it maybe would flow a little better. I could see them trimming off about like 20 minutes, but I also don't really know what they would trim off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a tough one to call on that one. But it is. I wanted to give it like a 9+ so much. I can't do that, but I can give it an 8.7 out of 10. This is a movie. The score was going up and down, but the ending kind of set it in tone to finish in that high 8s rather than those low 8s. Because even though it feels kind of short-lived, it's still fucking powerful. It's still badass scenery. It's still like, where's this gonna go in this fight? Which is a rare capability for any director, any movie. Because normally, because it's stupid that motherfuckers don't take risks, we're normally sitting in this moment. Well, the hero's gonna win. This movie found a way to evoke that in you and really pull that out, where you legitimately didn't know what was gonna happen at the end. And the twist, even though I saw it coming, it still was cool to have that in the middle. Very solid. And 8.7. And one scene we didn't talk about that I loved when he earned the sword against that big fucking dude.
Yeah, you're right.
That scene was
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones I didn't see in the trailer.
Yeah,
that
was a good
scene was dope as fuck.
It confused me a little bit at first.
when he
but
looked back over.
yeah, when he looked over and he was still sitting in the chair.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
but that
I
was
was
like
like,
the
fuck.
that was like the final moment. Like, now you can take it.
Yeah.
You've earned
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Very cool. Yeah, I
I
love.
did like that. Thanks for bringing that up.
He's like 7.5. I
No,
forgot
I really
about that.
am. I want to boost it up.
I forgot about that. That was my favorite scene of the movie. And I forgot. Point more
It was
five.
one of my
Yeah,
favorite scenes,
yeah,
actually.
it was dope. Dope shit, guys. Yeah, go
Yeah,
see
just hit
this
the right
movie,
buttons.
but know who you are, man. But still give it a shot.